Greetings, ladies and mantlejets, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Why We Can't Keep Human Worlds, written by Captain Candy. I let out a deep breath and grabbed my nose equivalent while shaking my head. Every decade or so, this happens. A new senator was elected by a species into the council, and a new member wants to prove a point. So they do research and learn who the weakest race is, the alleged weakest race is. They find the humans. Stop digging when they read the first 3 paragraphs about how they are a merchant species who focuses on exploration and the sale of fast foods and culture. I wish that they would read all the rest of the damned paper. In fact, that sounds like a great idea.
Senator Dana, why humans specifically? Please do enlighten me.
Head Counselor, my research has led me to believe that the humans are a minor race that while they sell some basic fast foods and mildly entertaining media, they offer us nothing else. We should take their planets and make proper use of them ourselves instead of turning them into hubs of gluttony and sloth.
Oh, that's quite enough, Senator. I'm guessing your research included the overview paper on the race for a rough breakdown.
Yes, Head Counselor. I did read through that paper as part of my research. It said that...
Again, Senator, that is all I need. I'm guessing you only read, the first 5 paragraphs, if you were feeling energetic. Let me be blunt. You are not the first to push for taking the humans' territories. They have a lot of resources, are low-tech level, and are not exactly military. But please bring up the article again for me, and read from the 10th paragraph for the council.
Head Counselor, this is highly unprofessional.
Oh, shut the feck up, Senator. Look, my species lives for 3,000 years, and I'm sick of every decade a little upstart like you pushes some same damn issues. Each and every one of you reads a little bit into the same damned papers and moves on to the next and the next. It's exhausting to listen to the same drivel every decade without failure. Now read the damn paper. And while you do, I'll organize a vote that in the future, every senator who doesn't do the full research for such things will be fired and sent back to their home planet dishonorably. Now, start reading.
Yes, ma'am. Well, the humans are not military race and prefer to focus on finding new food sources and ways to entertain not only themselves but the rest of the galaxy. They can, in fact, become a voracious threat. They have what they call a wartime economy that will more often than not see every man, woman, and able-bodied teen fight the invaders willingly. Head Counselor, why is this not mentioned sooner in the paperwork?
Senator, you're far from the most important information, you know. But I can see all the color is drained from your face now that I have forced you to read the documentation in full. Let me go over some key points with you, though. Firstly, there is the Geneva Convention, which is part of why the humans' military seems weak. They limit themselves in wars. Things like bioweapons, chemical warfare are prohibited. Radiation-based weapons are frowned upon, unless high-powered enough to gooify people. Weapons that take too long to kill are impossible to survive at the same time are strictly banned to them. Civilians are absolutely off-limits to kill in wartime. Prisoners of war are to be well-fed, sheltered, and not tortured for information. The humans are also a very fractious species, and more often than not are fighting themselves for stupid reasons. But the instant an outside force attacks them, they unify into a war machine that borders on monstrous. If they do not unify, then you had better pray to every god you have ever heard of, whether you believe in them or not, that the detachment you sent to attack them follows this Geneva Convention. If you don't follow and abide by it, the humans stop abiding by it as well. There have been no less than 7 races made extinct because they mocked these wartime rules. Each and every one of them died screaming, Senator. Each and every last one. Now, let's say you follow their rules and manage to beat their unified war machine. Well, you won't get a single human planet, ever. One race, mine in fact, managed to do just that. And do you know what happened when we managed to capture a human planet and deport 99% of the humans off the damned rock? Well, I will tell you. The remaining humans on the world detonated an antimatter bomb in the core of the planet and erased the entire fracking thing from reality. That ended the war right there and then. And when we asked the humans why they would blow up a planet they lost, do you know what they said? The exact words were, because it's ours, we claimed it, we terraformed it, we developed it. And we'll be damned if we let someone else have what we put so much work into. If we can't have it, then nobody gets it. Period. In short, it's ours, and you can't have it. This wasn't the last time someone went to war with them, and most of the people who did after went on extermination wars against humans. We lost 18 more races in the span of 5 years, Senator. Each and every single one of them died screaming. The document goes over all of that in painstaking detail. But every 10 years, without fail, one of you inept, lazy, entitled upstarts skims the top and sees humans are weak and tries to push the council to war with them to promote yourselves up and to take a shortcut to a higher position. If the council went to war with the humans, there would be no council, Senator. So please, in the future, you do your due diligence and read the whole goddamn paper. Now then, on to the vote mandating that all Senate members read all relevant documents to research areas or political issues in their entirety. End of story. Story number 2. Schrödinger's Poison, written by MarlynnOfMany. Mending the spaceship's extra cargo net was difficult. Too many strands. I held a couple in my teeth while both hands struggled with the rest, and it wasn't enough. I was considering getting my feet involved, or maybe a crewmate, when I heard an excited voices in the hallway.
Welcome back. Find anything good?
Yes, I met someone who wanted the expired heat packs.
What? Seriously?
You owe me a shroom stick. Pay up. Good-natured grumbling followed. I was pretty sure these were the Frillian twins, who looked like fishy bodybuilders with a fashion sense that always caught me off guard. Either drapey veils and skirts matching their own flowy fins, or strategically placed stretchy bands. No middle ground, and they were very competitive.
What did they even want with the old heat packs? You told them that they were expired, right?
Of course I did. You think that I would cheat like that? The indignant one was Blip. I was pretty sure. The female of the pair, or the closest thing to female, since their species seemed to handle gender a little differently than humans did. Her brother was Blop. Of course not, he admitted. What are they going to use them for, though?
Something about separating the components and pulling them into other uses. But look what I got in trade. Human food that's not expired.
I looked up at that, mouth still full of cords, but of course the cargo bay door blocked my view. I listened, though. What kind of is get it away!
What?
Why? I froze, just as curious. Do you know how many humans that stuff kills every cycle?
What are you talking about? Blup demanded. It's food. It says so right here.
Don't touch me with it. Put it into the contaminated chamber and get yourself scanned for poison. I wove quickly, rushing to finish so I didn't lose my place. We needed all of the nets, and we hadn't been able to get a new one at the space station. This was important, but oh man! What do they have out there?
Humans are omnivorous who eat anything. How is this deadly?
Blip was demanding when a new voice arrived.
Oh, what's the shouting?
Asked Paint, her usual cheer dampened by worry. I could just picture her with hands clasped anxiously and her scaly tail held stiff. The very picture of a lizard-like concern.
That's poison. It's food. Poisonous food.
Any hopes that I had of paint calming things down was dashed when she asked for the closer look, then slammed into the cargo bay door with a panic to jump back.
I've heard of that. It killed an ambassador. See, I told you. We need to get them both scanned, and maybe me too, Paint said, hyperventilating already. Maybe the whole ship. Is it airborne? Captain! Captain!
I threw the net on the floor and lunged for the door button. It banged open and startled Paint even more. She spun from where she'd been about to dash off in a streak of orange scales.
What is it?
I demanded, making the pair of Frillians back up a step. I'd probably look like some unhinged demon slamming out of the bay like that. They were both wearing veritable clouds of neon green silks, so the surprise was at least a little bit mutual. Blip held a jar over her shoulder, clearly torn between showing me the label and keeping it at a safe distance. I squinted, expecting alcohol or some unregulated drug. Spaceman Spiff's Chunky Peanut Butter, said the label. I stared for a long moment while everyone was silent. Then, I'm afraid, I startled them by all bursting into laughter.
It's not poisonous, I managed to say. But it killed an ambassador, Paint objected. I read the purport.
I'm sorry to hear that, I said, leaning against the wall. The ambassador was just allergic to peanuts. It took a bit of explaining, and I had to go over it all again when Captain Sunlight came running up. But I did get things settled.
I can't believe they're humans allergic to food, Blip said. I've heard of overreactions to mild toxins and venoms, but really? Food? From your own planet?
Yep, I said, putting out a hand for the peanut butter. Not me, though. I like peanuts. The jar was a hefty one, manufactured for long voyages.
We can still scan it through the medical systems, just in case one of you guys might react badly to it, but it's not officially toxic.
Well, that's good to hear, Captain Sunlight said, standing as tall as a little lizardly frame allowed. How about you do that now, and anyone who came in contact with goes along? Blip and Blop agreed immediately, not needing Paint's waving hands to usher us all down the hall. I looked over my shoulder at Paint as I walked. Once you get everybody checked out, you should try some. It's good on toast.
Toasted what?
Paint asked, still shooing away.
Bread. No, she said. I heard about that pizza you talked people into eating on Kemner's ship.
Some of them liked it, I objected.
Not Bobbert.
No, not Bobbert, I admitted. But this is totally different. Thanks for getting it, Blip. I turned to wave the jar at the Frillian in the lead.
My pleasure,
she said, and it almost sounded like she meant it.
Want to try some once it's safe? No, I don't.
Your loss. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps. Bitmori, Terran on Air, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lightsjock, Dragzoon WRE, Lord Azrakul, and Arcadian. Thank you.